And watching the Celeste Stein show. I'm your host, Dr. Celeste Stein. And today we have a very special guest joining us by the name of Celeste Stein. Celeste is a young artist that joins us out of Nashville, Tennessee, and has her new hit single that's out right now called High that she wrote and helped co-produce. And we're going to talk to her about that and some of the things that she's currently engaging in the music industry, is especially after COVID. We're going to get into a couple of questions about what the last 2 years have been like for young artists trying to make it in the business. And so this young lady has a lot of talent and a lot to talk about today. So we welcome Celeste Stein to the show. Thanks for joining us today, Celeste.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here today.
Thank you. Well, wanted to start by asking you, how did you get started in the music industry? Tell us, where does all that longing to want to sing and be in the business, where does that come from?
Well, it started when I was about maybe like 3 or 4, and I actually got chosen to sing as an angel in like a school choir play. And that was really fun. And I was really like dressed up, doing my little thing. And then from there, I just continued with choir, and I ended up joining a trio 3 girl singing group. And so we did a lot of cool different things. At one point, we had even auditioned for America's Got Talent. But we ended up breaking up. And even though we broke up, I knew that I still wanted to, continue on and release music. So I've been powering through ever since and releasing music.
So now that you're on your own, you're a single artist, tell us, who is Celeste Stein?
Celeste Stein is an entertainer. I'm someone who really just wants to keep the audience entertained, and I want them to really just be able to relate to the lyrics that I am singing. Not only do I sing, but I also model and do a little bit of acting. So I'd like to see myself kind of as an all-around artist, and all-around entertainer.
What, in your opinion, what do you think that means to be an all-around artist and entertainer? Who are some of the people that you look up to that you consider to be just that, all-around artists and entertainers?
Someone like, Jennifer Lopez or Janet Jackson. I love Britney Spears, Aaliyah, just people who are doing it in every avenue. So yeah.
Yeah, that's some uh, really awesome people that you mentioned there to look up to. It seems like now we don't have as many people that are maybe overall artists. Do you also play any instruments when you're kind of putting together, and do you write your own music?
Well, I play just a little bit of piano and guitar, and I do write my own music. I do a lot of co-writes, but on all of the songs that I am singing on, I have been a part of the writing process.
So let's talk about the process a little bit. How does that work? Do you just wake up and say, "I think I have a tune, a little song in my head," or how do you, for especially for young artists who are maybe trying to get started in the business like you were a couple of years ago? Tell us, how do you engage in the creative process? Because it is a process, and it is something that you have to work at. It's not something that I think just always comes naturally to certain people.
Yeah, well, there's a few different ways that kind of it happens for me. Like, some you said, do you just wake up? Well, sometimes actually I do dream of songs, and I do wake up and like jot it down, which is very interesting to me that, you might be able to dream of a song. But most times what happens is that I am working with a producer, and they will usually like have a beat for me or something, and then I kind of write on top of that beat. So that's
Mhm.
usually how it happens for me.
Yeah. And typically, does that go pretty quickly, or is that something that kind of really takes time to develop?
It's always definitely like we're saying, this is a process. So it kind of just depends. Like sometimes you might have songs in like 10-20 minutes or so, but then also like you want to make sure that everything like is sounding good with it. So even though that time to write the song might have been a little bit short, um it's still like an ongoing process, because you know you have background vocals that need to be in there and different sounds in the production. So it really just depends, but like I said, it's most definitely a process.
hmm So, being a young artist, I'd say the last 2 years have been a little crazy with COVID and everything. Tell us what you've been doing over that time period, and how has it been difficult?
I would say it has been a little bit difficult because right around when COVID hit, I was planning on releasing, I guess, another song. I had two songs, so I was gonna do another Tattoo Lovin' remix that I was gonna release in like March of whenever COVID hit, and then of course there's my song "In Love Baby," but that stuff kind of got halted with COVID. And what I've noticed in the industry is that a lot of people have not really been able to tour, which is, you know, a main source of like income for most artists that usually don't write their own songs. Um, so the touring process and just like playing live shows has definitely like been halted, but I know that things are slowly but surely starting to come back up on that. So
Would you have plans? Would you like to go on tour, or do you just prefer maybe writing?
oh no, I definitely want to be on tour one day. Actually, I'm kind of in the process of working on that right now and getting a live show together, so that I'm ready to go on tour in 2022.
Mhm. Now, the latest single that you mentioned that you were working on earlier, called "High." Now, you did write or co-wrote on that song, I
Yeah,
guess.
I co-wrote on that. So it was me, Ryan Rasmussen. He also produced on it and then co-wrote with me. And then we have Henry Greer and Kel Katz. We all kind of put in different parts to the song, and it all came together.
So, what's the song about?
The song is really about, you know, when you haven't been dating in a long time and you finally find someone that, you know, just really you connect with, and they give you all the sparks and the butterflies that you get whenever you find someone that you really, really like.
hmm so, how long did it take to kind of put all that together with that particular song?
Um, it might have been a month or so. I'm not really sure. It didn't take too long to write it, but like we said, it's a process. So it could have taken a month. I don't remember. It's been a while ago.
Yeah. Well, would you mind if we took a listen to "High," and we'll talk a little bit about that after we um, hear a little bit of the song "High" as we're engaging today. We'll go ahead and play a little of that.
Before I met you, I was on the way down. Now I'm thinking matching, I can't give you up now. I just need you, and I just want you, and I have to have you. So baby, let's not overcomplicate it. I'm waiting on you, it's Friday night. You look at us, we made it. Another hit of your eyes, we're nailing the night. Holding out for your loves, we head towards the sky. I get so high. I get so high off your love. I can't resist. I've never felt it like this. don't care what we do, I just can't go down. I need you right next to me so I don't burn out. You know what they say, you're my help that's on the way. Know I'm gonna crash, but it won't be today. Baby, please don't overcomplicate it. Know that it's tough, but remember I can't take it. I'm craving this feeling, I can only get tonight. So all that I'm asking is don't ruin the vibe. I get so high, I get so high off your love, I can't resist. I've never felt it like this. I know it's real, needing something to feel. I get so high, can't get you off now. What you do to me, what you do to me, what you do to me, 'cause I've been flying tonight. What you do to me, what you do to me, what you do to me, 'cause I've been flying tonight. I know it's real, needing something to feel, needing something to feel.
That was awesome. So that was a recent broadcast that you were on in Nashville today. Tell us about that. How did you end up going on? You know, a pretty big broadcast here in Nashville, huh?
Yeah, so I've been working with a team that has been helping me with, public relations and appearances and stuff like that. And they were able to get me on the Today in Nashville show, Channel 4, and it was a very awesome experience, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
I'm sure you did. So let's talk a little bit about your career overall, some of the other things that you're doing. So now you have also worked as a model for the Block Agency. Talk about that and how you got involved in modeling, because you have really quite a career overall with all the different things that, all the different aspects of your career, from doing YouTube stuff to modeling and commercials and acting and singing and, holding it down on the real estate front. So let's talk a little bit about the modeling aspect, and then we'll move on to a couple of other things. So, I know a lot of young people, and the reason I'm asking this too, a lot of young people might be interested in doing something like this, becoming a model. And sometimes we think it's just a simple, easy thing. I guess you have to kind of apply and make yourself known, but let's talk a little bit about how you actually got involved in that.
So I think I got involved with the Block Agency back in 2017, and at that time I was actually still in the girl group, and one of the girls that was older than me, she was like, "Are you modeling?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "Well, you should be." And then so she gave me my agent's contact information, and she had a photographer friend, and so we set something up, and I did a few different outfit changes, and I sent some of those pictures to my agent, and he was like, he called me in for a meeting and we met, and then he asked if I wanted to be signed with the Block Agency, and it's been history ever since then. So it's definitely has provided me with a lot of great opportunities, and just learning myself and my body and how to take pictures. And sometimes I think it can be glamorous, but there's also a lot of hard work, and you might have 8-hour days where you're shooting like 50 pairings of clothes all together and stuff like that. And yeah, it can be fun though. But You're
It's
just
a
part of it.
job.
Yeah.
So tell me about some of the more fun projects you've got to do. I know you've done some music videos with some country artists. Talk about that a little bit and some of the work that I've seen that you've done with some pretty big artists. Not just I guess doing the music aspect, but also lifestyle, fitness, that type of thing.
Yeah. So in terms of country artists, I've worked with a lot of different country artists now. Um, Actually, the last one that I worked with, his name is Cole Swindle, and on this one, I actually did get to meet him and was in his music video for Some Habits is the name of the song. And that was really cool. The setup was awesome. It was like out in the middle of nowhere, Tennessee, cornfields and stuff like that, just a bunch of plants. But that was cool. I've gotten to work with Tim McGraw on his fitness book. And I actually got to meet him too. He was actually like probably one of the most fit people I have ever seen. I was like, Tim McGraw, what? Yeah, he was super nice though. And then so I was in Luke Bryan's Light It Up music video. On this one, I didn't get to meet Luke Bryan, but I did get to meet apparently this famous basketball player, which I am not, I don't watch sports. So
Oh, shame on you.
I know I had no clue who this guy was. I actually literally thought that he was another actor, and so like I knew there was something different about him because they were like treating him like a little bit special, but I just thought it was because he was like the main like character, right? So I was chatting up a whole conversation with him, and it was fine, it was whatever. And then like later on, at MTSU, like talking to people, I'm like, does anybody know a guy named Jimmy Butler? And they're like, Jimmy Butler, like, they were like, the famous basketball player Jimmy Butler. I'm like, what you mean? I don't. But anyway, so like I ended up like looking him up on Instagram, and he has like millions of followers. Like was dating Selena Gomez allegedly.
Oh my
I'm like,
goodness.
okay, wow, like okay. So I just remember with this random guy, like who's a famous basketball player. That's cool. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And so I guess I think you've also done some stuff with Pearl Clarkin and a couple of others. Did you do something down on the beach or?
I don't know if that video has ever been released, but we definitely did a photo shoot for it. And I think the name of the song was Girls of Summer. So me, Pearl, and a few other girls, we compete in pageants together. And so, she invited the Girls of Summer to be in this photo shoot and a music video. And that was really fun. But yeah, Pearl's a good friend of mine, and she is a lovely country singer. Her voice is, phenomenal. So
Yeah, she's awesome. One thing I wanted to ask you, you just mentioned a little bit about your pageantry and doing pageants. So tell me about that. That's a whole nother area that involves, I guess swimsuit competitions and questions and answers and just kind of strutting your stuff. And I know it's televised and all of that. So talk about that in terms of participating in pageants. When did you start doing that? And let's talk a little bit about what that entails.
yeah, so I think the first ever pageant that I did, if I can remember correctly, because I was like quite literally a toddler. I don't know, I might have been about like 2 or 3, I don't remember, but that was cool. What I do remember from that pageant was like blowing the kisses to the judge, and I think that's why I got like pretty high up on there. And then after that one, I don't think I did a pageant until I was in about 7th grade. And I competed in, I think it's called the America's National Teenager Scholarship Organization, ANSO. And the reason why I did that one is, well, first, my mom, she said that she like pulled up this email or something and was like, hey, there's this pageant going on. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then I go to school. I go to school, and one of my friends is, actually competing at the same pageant. And I was like, well, if you're doing it, I want to do it too. Like, this is going to be fun now. And so I ended up competing, and I actually think I got like first runner up in that one. And so for me, I was kind of like, whoa, I might actually be kind of like good at this. And there was scholarship money involved. And so I just continued to go, and then competed in the national pageant in Texas, San Antonio, Texas. And that was a whole thing. And then after that, I have also competed in the Miss Tennessee Teen USA 2 times. Both times I placed in the top 5. And I actually, the Chrisleys Know Best with Todd Chrisley and Savannah Chrisley. That was the year that I actually got to compete with Savannah Chrisley, my second time going through that competition. And, while I might not have won, we did end up all of the runner-ups, and Savannah ended up in like People Magazine, E! News, The Insider, all of these different outlets. And so that was pretty cool that I'm able to say that I've been in all those different outlets because of pageants and, volunteer opportunities and stuff like that. And then I've also competed in the Miss Tennessee pageant, which goes to Miss America, and also the Miss Tennessee volunteer pageant. And I've won probably just at around $10,000, maybe over $10,000 in scholarship money at this point.
Mm-hmm. Now, see, I think a lot of people think that doing pageants, it's great and all, but I don't think a lot of people realize, I guess, how much money is at stake with some of the pageants. And I would say, in terms of getting an education, now you've gone to school, you've graduated. What did that mean by winning that scholarship money? What did that mean for how much debt you may have had by the time you graduated?
Yeah. Well, the debt from going to school has decreased significantly. And then just also having that money each semester go to, tuition is like, oh, wow, I barely had to pay anything this semester for tuition. So just over the years, that's been like quite helpful, and just being able to actually, attend school and come out with less debt has, I'm very grateful and thankful for that opportunity. So, yeah.
Yeah. One of the things I wanted to ask you too, with the pageants, you end up doing a lot of volunteer work. So what was your platform?
My platform was called Move to Stand. It is an anti-bullying organization. And back when I was in high school, I started the first Move to Stand chapter at my high school. So one day, the Move to Stand organization came to my high school, and they had this assembly. At the time, I was like, oh, this probably isn't going to be worth my time. But then they had us go into the gym and line up on this big long line, and they asked us a series of questions, like, have you ever been called fat, stupid, ugly, just questions like that. And every time, they asked us that, we would step over the line if that situation had happened to us. And by the end of them asking a series of questions like those, all of my classmates and myself had crossed over the line. And so at that point, I kind of realized that bullying was something that had not only affected me, but actually all of my peers. And so, the first time I had ever gotten bullied, it was actually because of the way that my hair looked. I had been called a lot of offensive names when I was growing up. And so And that moment back to the gym, you know, I realized, hey, this is something that affects everyone. And so I wanted to do something about it. And so that's why I started the Move to Stand chapter at my high school. And a lot of kids were on board with it. And I think I even got nominated for the Governor's Volunteer Stars Award. And also, let's see, there's a lot of other stuff that has happened because of that. I think I was nominated for the National Brand Ambassador for the International Anti-Bullying Organization. And then just being able to actually, upon graduating from high school, and then going into college, getting to work with the actual Move to Stand organization and travel to schools has been great. With the pandemic, you know, that the way that, you know, you communicate with the children changed from going in person to actually me myself creating anti-bullying videos and just videos for the students to be sent out has kind of changed, and we have adapted, but it's been interesting.
So when you were actually going into the schools and meeting with the students, what kind of reactions did you get often from students after you spoke? Did they ever come up to you and say, yeah, I've been bullied too? I mean, how prevalent is that problem?
Well, you know, the reactions vary because we have kids that are like, I want to be a princess too, or like, how do you get your crown to stay on your head? And then there's, there's girls who are like, that look just like me, and they have all their naturally curly hair out, and they're like, wow, they come up and they give me a hug, and they're like, thank you so much for talking about this, because I went through the exact same experience as you. And so, I don't know, it's just heartwarming to kind of hear their stories and to be able to help them, but they're not only helping, or I'm not only helping them, but they're also like helping me, because I don't know, it's just very like heartwarming to be able to kind of hear their stories.
Yeah. So, do you think that you will do any pageants in the future? Now, you spent, I guess, the last 2 years as Miss Chattanooga?
Yeah, Miss Chattanooga volunteer. So I competed in the Miss Tennessee volunteer program, which goes to the Miss America volunteer program. And like I said, I've competed in the Miss Tennessee program, which goes to Miss America, and the Miss Tennessee Teen USA, which goes to Miss USA or Miss Teen USA, and then Miss Universe. And, kind of when I started out with the Miss Tennessee Teen USA program, like I always really did want to go back and eventually compete for the Miss Tennessee USA program. So I'm thinking about competing in that one again as Miss Tennessee USA. So I don't know if that will be this year or next year or whenever that might be, but I think I probably will eventually return.
And what are your hopes? Like sometimes when people, I guess, participate in those types of things, eventually there's a goal in mind. How do you plan to impact or change the world, maybe through some of the opportunities like this that you are very fortunate to have?
Well, I think that with pageants, once you're crowned, you're basically given a megaphone to be able to speak about your platforms and reach as many people as possible. Now, you don't have to be in a pageant to help people or reach people, but it certainly does help extend that reach and give you opportunities to work with people like the governor or people who can change your community. It gives you reach to those people to be able to help you with whatever you're trying to do. And so I think a goal for me would be being Miss Tennessee USA, and then going to be Miss USA, and then going to be Miss Universe. Ooh, wouldn't that be something if I could help the whole universe, right? Or, so yeah, I would definitely, with each title that you progress with, you're able to reach more people. And that's something that I really enjoy about pageantry.
One thing I want to ask that I know some people probably want to know is, you ever get nervous up there? I mean, it's all these people watching you and all these cameras on you, and it's being broadcast, and it's not just going out in that local community. Now it's on the internet, and people all over the world can watch. And I've been told certain famous people might be watching sometimes. Just seeing. So, do you ever get nervous up there?
I think I get nervous actually when I have to sing like an opera song or like, I think the singing is like the most actually nerve-wracking part just because um you never know what could happen or like you could forget a lyric or something and everybody's watching. But all the other stuff like I don't know, I don't really get so much nervous for that. I actually kind of find it fun a little bit. And I think my favorite part of the competition is actually swimsuit. So yeah, I love that part. It's fun. And then also being able to kind of show off how hard you have worked is another thing that I kind of look forward to because I am someone who is hardworking and dedicated. And so I like to be able to be like, this is what I've done. What have you done?
So let me ask you though, now they categorize, certain areas. I guess, you have interviews, you have swimsuit, you have all these different things. And I guess they're broken out by percentages when they're actually judging. How hard is it to, have to be out there and, I'll just say, we know there's been a lot of controversy, regarding the swimsuit competition. Obviously, you don't seem to have a problem with that.
No, I don't. Like I was saying, I think there's something to, first off, having discipline and living a healthy lifestyle and kind of being in a routine of things. Like, it can be actually like really hard to be in a routine and stay dedicated and on a regiment. And so, kind of being able to show people through your body or by, if you have like abs or something like that, people are like, when they see that, they're like, she's dedicated because you can't really fake that. So yeah, there's a lot of different things that you can do.
But I will say a lot of girls have suffered from eating disorders. It's not all fun and games, and sometimes that's the ugly side of it. There may be people who have, some serious problems or illnesses. What do you say to those girls about how do you balance, I guess the whole look that you're trying to achieve with also being healthy?
Um, well, you just said it, healthy. You're trying to be healthy. And so by you, not eating or doing crazy things to your body, like people can also see that too. If you're starving yourself, nobody kind of wants to see somebody who is skin and bones because that actually really does not look healthy. And people can see that. So, it's about being healthy. And so that means eating healthy. You have protein, vegetable, carbs, fat, all this stuff that goes into your diet that makes it very nutritional. And so it's like you can't be healthy if you don't eat. Your body has to have enough fuel to be able to gain muscle. And so I don't understand people who I don't understand that because you can't get the look that you're really trying to achieve, a look of health by not eating. So and then also too working out, making sure, like for me, I love to actually do group workout classes because it's just very motivating, right? If I'm doing a workout on my own, it's like, well, I don't know. Sometimes I might, either not know like what to do, or be like want to give up. But if I do attend a group workout class, it's like, it's empowering because like not only girls are there, but guys are there. And so it's kind of like, well, if they're not giving up, like I don't need to give up either. Like I can do this too. So getting the motivation and eating healthy, and then also too, like that being on a level of working out and eating healthy, like really can lift your spirits. Like, I don't know if you've ever worked out in the morning, but every time after I work out in the morning, I feel great throughout the day. So I think that's important also for mental health.
Is your routine a lot different as you are training? You sound like an athlete training for a triathlon or something, like all these different things that you're doing. Is your life a lot different when you're preparing for a pageant?
I would say yes. It just kind of depends because right now I'm not really preparing for a pageant, but previously, before, like even if I was not preparing for a pageant, I would still be working out. So, it can definitely like change or be a little bit more strict during pageant time. But for me, like I kind of like to work out regardless of whether I'm doing a pageant or not.
Right. But you have to really, really push yourself. That means getting up early, right? Sometimes and things like that. And really, just watching the whole day and what you're doing for that day. I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to run a little commercial. And when we come back, we're going to talk about some of the things that coming up for the holidays, and we'll go from there. A lot of things have come to a screeching halt due to COVID-19, but you should know that the court system in Tennessee is still open and holding in-person hearings for orders of protection and other types of abuse cases. If you have a hearing date, double check on where your hearing will be held. If you need assistance on an order of protection or temporary restraining order, contact the Legal Aid Society at 1-800-238-1443 or visit our website at www.las.org. And welcome back. You're listening to the Celeste Stein Show. I'm your host, Dr. Celeste Stein, and today we are here with Elise, who is an up-and-coming recording artist out of the greater Nashville area. And Elise, it's been interesting learning about all these different things that you have going on. Wanted to ask you about also, I think you've mentioned you have done some real estate. It's a whole nother area. Tell us about that, how you got involved in the real estate market.
Let's see. Well, so, I graduated from Middle Tennessee State University in December of 2019, right? And then about 2 months after that, COVID hit. So, I was kind of starting to panic a little bit because I didn't have a job yet. So I was like, what am I going to do? Like, just trying to figure things out. And I think come around like May or June, I have, a friend, and his name is Chad Wallers, and he is like one of the top producing agents at Village, where I'm at now. And he kind of sat down and took the time to talk with me and just really explain like how it works and what next steps would be to become a real estate agent. And so after just kind of talking with him and hearing his point of view, it kind of motivated me more so to just even like take the real estate classes and get my license. So I went ahead and did that. It took me about a month or so to go over all the coursework and pass the tests. And I scheduled the tests, the national and state exam in, I think, December, or I don't know, maybe October. I don't remember. It's a timeline, but
you got it done. That's what's important, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, and then in January, I hung my license with Village Real Estate. And about a month or so ago, I just switched full time, and it has been really great. I love it. I feel empowered. when I'm in the real estate business. And it has also, like, I've been able to put to use my public relations, advertising, and marketing degree. I love doing the social media for it, putting together presentations, and then also understanding contracts and then being able to explain that to potential buyers or sellers. I don't know, I just really enjoy it, and I like the flexibility in my schedule.
But is it hard? Like it really takes a lot of guts, doesn't it, to get out there on your own and you either have to sink or swim. So how hard is it?
Oh yeah, it's definitely challenging, but although it's challenging, it's empowering. So it's definitely not for the weak. But
So,
yeah, I enjoy it.
any interesting stories that have happened, is your hard
Oh,
work
you
paying
know what?
off?
I have a funny story. So actually this goes back to Chad. So before I think I got my license, he was taking me to the 505 building in downtown Nashville, high rise building. And so we went, toured the place, like looked at some listings, and then we came back down to the garage where we had parked. And I don't know what had happened on that day, but I guess like his key to the door, like the door in the garage, because the garage was like gated off, so that not everybody could like park up there where residents park. And so the key was not working. So he was like, well, we will just go under after another car goes, right? And so, it like closes down, but it also has like the little, I don't know what it's called, but it goes up and down when a car goes in.
Right, the little
So
gate that comes up and down, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I
but
think that's what
there
you're
were
talking
two
about.
of them on this one, right?
Oh. Oh boy.
So yeah, so he goes under, a car finally comes up, he goes under, and then like I'm over in my heels, like going under, like following him, like, oh Lord. And I was not fast enough, right? I got hit in the head by the thing that goes down. I was like, you could see the little birds and the stuff coming out of my head. I'm like, what in the world is going on? Did I really just get hit right now? Like,
Oh
crazy,
no.
crazy. So yeah, whenever I make my first million, I will definitely be like, oh, Chad, you remember that day when you took me to the 505 and I got hit in the head by the garage thing? I don't know.
Well, I guess if that didn't scare you off, I guess they figure you're good. Like, man. So tell me about some of your other music. I know that you mentioned a song to me called "The Holidays." Let's talk about that song a little bit and what. Obviously, we're coming upon the holidays this time of year. Tell us about that inspiration for that song and how that came about.
Yeah, so there are three other people on the song. So it's myself, Kel, Josh Wolf, and then Thorell Marchetti. And so I think we kind of, like, I can't really quite remember everything, but Thorell did his rap part on it. And then I think me, Josh, and Kel kind of went through it, and we wrote the chorus of it. And basically, the song is kind of about, so most people on Christmas, some people think it's all about the gifts, and stuff like that. But the song is really about, what the real gift is people's presence. So I think it's a gift to be around your loved ones, and gifts, like physical objects, aren't everything. I think what's most important are the connections that you're making with people. So yeah, that's
Oh,
kind
it's
of.
so beautiful. No. Well, let's take a listen to the song "The Holidays." I'm gonna pull that up and take a quick listen. Mr. Brown, I've looked over your record. It looks good, but this is paper. What have you learned?
During my imprisonment, I've lost everything. Friends, family, and those that I thought that loved me.
How are you going to get them back?
I had a lot of time to spend alone with God, and I learned a lesson.
Mr. Brown, I'm going to give you a job. You're going to start at the bottom.
I will not let you down.
Oh, Mr. Brown, is this your daughter?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Oh, she's lovely.
Thank you so much. I haven't seen her in 10 years, but
10 years?
10 years.
Oh, my goodness. Maybe this year.
Thank you so much. I hope so.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Man, I wonder what it would have been like. I wonder what she's doing now. Scud block. Man, it's like it done came to that time of year again, man. Another year down, man. Family coming together, man, putting like old thing behind. We got a lot of love this year, right? Right? What you say we give it all back? What you think about that?
If you had just one wish for Christmas, tell me what you'd want to see. Is there stockings by the fire, presents laying by the tree? Oh, do you see it snowing early morning? Sun is shining, kids are rising, all the family. Oh,
The sweeter the love, the bigger the gift. Bring the ones you treasure all together for the holidays. The deeper you care, the more you share. The greatest gift is love, and this year I'll give it all away. If you had just one gift for Christmas, would you show me what you give? All the love inside your heart, would you spread it? Spread it for the holidays. All the gifts and all the presents, don't mean a thing without your presence. Will you spend your time with me?
oh,
The sweeter the love, the bigger the gift. Bring the ones you treasure all together for the holidays. The deeper you care, the more you share. The greatest gift is love, and this year I'll give it all away.
'Tis the season, not for us to be grieving. 'Tis the season for us to be cheerful. All in all, I'm here with you. Let's spread the love and the gifts too. Under the mistletoe, maybe I'll kiss you. I hope you like the present I sent you, and I can't wait till I get near you. The kids are laughing and they're excited. It's a holiday party and you're invited. Let's come together, close to the fire, sipping hot chocolate, feeling inspired. What a wonderful feeling, being close to the family, mama and daddy, auntie and granny, all of my cousins, a lot of my friends. Let's keep this love all the way real to the end. Take
The sweeter the love, the bigger the gift. Bring the ones you treasure all together for the holidays. The deeper you care, the more you share. The greatest gift is love, and this year I'll give it all away.
Dad?
Merry Christmas, baby.
All right. And we're back after watching the holidays music video with Elise Stein, who is on our show right now today. And Elise, so can you kind of walk us through real quick what we were watching there? Tell us the storyline.
The storyline is about a guy who had just gotten out of prison, and he had not seen his daughter in about, I think, 10 years or so. And so he was kind of like imagining what life would have been like if he would have been there for her, if he hadn't gone to prison. So it was kind of showing, what life would have been like. But however, that's not reality. So you see the girl and then you see another older girl. Well, this is what reality actually is. The little girl is actually grown, right? So he's imagining what life would have been like, and then eventually he finally finds his daughter and is there to
be a part of her life. Yeah. That's awesome. So that's coming up. A lot of people probably might want to know where they can find you, see some of your songs, your videos, your pageantry, everything. Is there a hot spot where we can find all this stuff? Tell us, how can we download your music, and how can we read more about you, find out more about you?
Well, all this information is on my website at www.elisestein.com. And as far as social media goes, my Instagram name is @EliseSteinMusic. And for finding my music and streaming it, it's on all streaming platforms. And then, the music videos that you just had seen, you should be able to find at Elise Stein on YouTube, or it might still be Elise Stein Music on YouTube. But even regardless, if you type in Elise Stein, you should be able to find it.
Mm-hmm. And what about if, let's say somebody wanted you to go on tour? Who do you want to go on tour with? Hey.
Let's see, Justin Bieber right now. I love Madison Beer, and Harry Styles. Come on, Harry. I love him. I don't know if you've been seeing his stuff on TikTok, but every day they're people from his concert, video recording him, and he's always doing something crazy, or people are proposing, and then he's has commentaries it's all surprised and stuff. It's funny, but anyways.
So a lot of good artists. What about I guess, who are some of the top people out there? What about Beyonce?
Is Beyonce touring? Honestly, I don't want to go on her tour, because you just throw me over in the water. I can't go out there anymore.
Oh, come on. You have to have faith in yourself, man. They had to start somewhere too, That's what you have to remember. And, just keep working at it and keep trying, and, all will come together. I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to come on the Celeste Stein Show today. We really appreciate it, Elise. And we wish you the very best in your career. And we hope to hear you back here in maybe a year or so, and letting us know all the fabulous things that have happened over the course of the year. This is all the time we have for now. We thank you so much all for listening in and watching. If you're watching on YouTube or other streaming platforms, we thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks for our next episode. Thank you, and enjoy your day.